Hello everyone. Today we're going to discuss about the pathways to Australia, different visas, how can one get a residency, and about the citizenship. All right, let's get into it. So there are different ways to reach Australia. One of them is to get a student visa. Another one is to apply for permanent residency from wherever you are, whether in Australia or outside. Next option is you can search for work and sponsor. Another one is business investment. Next is tourist or visitor visa. And there are many other visas, some of them that we are going to discuss today that are a bit relevant, and quite few people come here in Australia on that category as well, that is as a refugee or as a family reunion. All right, let's discuss about the student visa in Australia. Uh, First of all, to start with, you have to choose a course and a course provider. Uh, you can visit different websites which can provide you the information on the courses provided by the various universities across Australia. Uh, Moreover, you can get in touch with your local migration consultant who can provide you with this direction, or just use Google. Google is the best source to get that sort of information. Next is to secure a confirmation of enrollment from the college. Once you have chosen your course and the course provider, you have to secure a confirmation of enrollment after submitting all the documents and expressing your interest in studying in that particular university or college. Once you have done with that, then you can apply for a student visa through online or Australian High Commission, whichever is the best possible way for you. Then you need to gather all your documents and show that you have enough finances to stay there in Australia for quite a while. Before your arrival, make sure you make your living arrangements and you are familiar with the currency and bit of rules and regulations as well. Since you will be here on a student visa, you must follow the limitations such as work limit, travel obligations during a stay. Student visa are also assigned on different bases that can be for diploma, bachelor's, or master's, or for PhD as well. So there are different categories within the student visa. Next, we are going to look into the permanent residency. In order to get a permanent residency, you need to check your score based on the points-based system. Uh, that calculator is available on the immigration website, which allows you to input all your details, and it will give you a point-based scores which can allow you to assess yourself whether you are eligible to apply for permanent residency. Minimum points at this point of time uh, for submitting an EOI, expression of interest, is 65. So check your eligibility and try out different ways that can help you get the desired number of points. You can go for different exams, work experience, or any other viable option that suits you. Assess your skills and experience from relevant authority in Australia. Once you have selected your occupation that you will be coming to Australia under that occupation list, then you have to get your skill assessed from the relevant authority. For example, accountants might need to get in touch with CA, Chartered Accountants Australia. Engineers might need to get in touch with Engineers Australia to get their degrees or experience assessed whether they are relevant in Australia. However, there are different methods through which you can apply for permanent residency. In this case, we are actually more leaning towards 189, that is skill independent visa. This is the most popular way among people that apply from overseas to obtain a permanent residency. In order to uh, secure higher points, you might need to take few exams as well. That is, can be IELTS, PTE, or NATI. IELTS is basically an English language test, same as PTE as well, though both of them are on a different format. However, once you get the desired marks in both of the exams, you will be given a certain number of points that can be helpful for you in achieving your permanent residency in Australia. You can also choose NATI CCL, that is a language test where one has to translate a language other than their own native language. So, for instance, one's native language is Hindi, then you have to translate Hindi to English and English to Hindi. It is also called Community Credential Language Test. This will give you maximum of 5 points, which can be quite relevant. There are different methods to get more points as well, such as professional year, your previous experience in Australia, or your experience overseas as well. Moving on from that, once you have gathered all your marks, you can submit an expression of interest through immigration website, and you just need to give all your relevant information that is required by the immigration to assess you. Then you have to wait for the invitation, and once you are invited, you can submit all the documents as they request you. The invitation times are usually up to 2 years, so you can expect quite a bit of delay in your expression of interest and invitation. So keep that in mind. The different categories have different waiting time frames, so you must make sure that you have the maximum number of points, so you have more probability of getting an invitation as soon as possible. Alright, the next one is work visa and sponsor. You can apply for different jobs that are related to your field. You can search for a relevant employer who can sponsor you. There are many skills that are in shortage. There are selected occupation list as well by different states and within Australia as well. This gives you an opportunity to work as a specialist in that occupation and allows you to stay in Australia on temporary or permanent basis. You can apply for work visa through this method. You just need to gather your documents, follow your guidelines for your state that has been implemented by the immigration and your employer. One of the examples for this type of visa is 482 temporary skill shuttle visa. The next one is the business investment. You need to apply online with your financial capabilities. You will be assessed by the eligible government agency whether you are eligible to invest in Australia. You can invest in an ongoing business, or it can be simply an investment activity. You can undertake entrepreneurial activity in Australia as well, which is basically your doing some sort of innovation or a startup or something like that. However, you might need to invest at least $1 million into that business initially, and that could lead up to 4 years as well. So it can go up to 1.5, in some cases up to 5 million as well. So there are many visas within this stream as well. You need to be nominated by eligible government organization. They will assess whether your business plan is feasible to develop in Australia. You must operate a new or existing business in Australia. One of the examples for this type of visa is Business Innovation Stream, that's also called Visa Class 188. Next one is the tourist visa. You need to explain your intention of stay in Australia, why you're coming here in Australia, your duration of the travel or visit, uh, whether you need to meet your family or friends or you're just here for pleasure. You also need to make sure that you have enough funds to stay in Australia to cover all your expenses while you're traveling. You're not allowed to work, conduct any sort of business, or undergo any medical treatment under this visa. You need a different visa to do all these sort of activities. One of the basic examples for this type of visa is subclass 600 tourist stream. The next one is family sponsored. This visa allows an dependent of a relative living in Australia for support. Anyone who's living outside Australia can apply for this stream if their relative is living here. It can be brother, sister, parents, spouse, grandparents as well. This visa has a long waiting times of up to 50 years, so it can take quite a while for you to get this visa. You can apply for this visa if you rely on a relative who lives in Australia. There are different categories under this visa as well, where you need to make sure that you are relevant to which sort of stream, whether it can be an aged related or carer visa or dependent visa and so on. The government might ask your sponsor to pay a security bond. They might need to show the funds that they will be able to take care of you. You have an option to stay here permanently or temporarily. One of the basic examples is partner visa that many people apply for their spouses uh, under subclass 820 or 801. Another one is a refugee visa. You can move to Australia if you are subject to persecution in your home country. Uh, it allows you and your family to live, work, and study indefinitely in Australia. However, you need to be referred by the United Nations High Commissioner of Refugees, UNHCR. The Australian government will pay for the travel and other costs before you arrive in Australia, including medical examination, cultural orientation overseas. There's no visa application charge for this visa. The decision process, however, can take months or years. The number of applications received for resettlement each year is far greater than the available visa. So this is another sort of visa which, however, requires a special permission and it is granted under special circumstances only. Uh, and there can be a lot of waiting time to get this sort of visa. So in case someone is thinking of this sort of visa, this is definitely not for everyone. One of the examples is refugee visa subclass 200. Well, the citizenship, to be a citizen, you need to be a permanent resident or eligible New Zealand citizen when you apply. And when you decide your application, you must have stayed in Australia for a particular number of years. You need to be in Australia when the government decides on your application. In most cases, you must have spent time in Australia and you must know about the country. You intend to live in Australia or maintain lasting link with Australia while you are overseas. You can include your dependent child aged 15 or younger in your application with permission from a responsible parent. A child 15 years or younger can apply on their own. Child must be a permanent resident as well. You need to become an Australian citizen by conferral permanent residence or New Zealand citizen. Alright, that's all about the citizenship. It's definitely a long process as well. This might take a few years. Once you receive your permanent residency, you might need to give an exam as well, and then you will be honored by the government to become a citizen of Australia, which gives you many rights and benefits as well. Alright guys, this is all for today. Hope you like this video. Make sure to click thumbs up on the like button and subscribe to this channel. And feel free to ask any question. Just drop your comments below in the section. See you again. Thanks.